No, baby.
At this time, I'm almost done.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm looking for you, madam. Could you please call her for me?
Please, may I know why?
Oh, no. Just tell her she has a special visitor coming.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, don't worry about it. Thank you.
At this time, who's that? Please, there's a big tall man at the door. He said he wants to see you. See me for what at this time? Please, I don't know. I'm sure you changed his mind.
Ukwada June busuminimu ne de so aduasa wo afi apem ohanko ede otwemienu efiti ase se eda papia organa fo abrabo mu nanso eda na ekoguo no enim esisi e mada no be eda bako a esum duru oman Ghana wo Ghana bakose hu adesaya no emema okura kodi a na Lance Corporal Amedekade wonenim ekofa High Court atemwafo mensa ne army officer no wa onmijemu no mu wonom ne Justice Fred Pokusa akodie wo no August busumini mu ne dato so aduonu ensia ewo afi apem ohankron aduonu enson ewo Koforidua okosuku wo Adesada College efri 1943 mu edekosi 1948 mu osane ko Faraday University afi 1954 mu ewo Sierra Leone wo General Middle Temple afi 1960 mu Opeja no ye ne High Court Judge afi 1971 mu owari Yvonne Sakodia one ne wo emma benum Justice Kwadwo Eje Japan wo no November 1926 ewo Oyoko oko Infant Pim School afi 1942 mu onya Bachelor of Law degree wo King's College afi 1958 mu ene wo frɛ no ko Inner Temple no so afi 1960 mu Opeja ne dibemu ye no High Court Judge afi 1977 mu owari Comfort Japan one ne wodu ebra wodu ano no na ne keche edibosu miensape Mrs. Cecilia Cranton Ado wonu me ebosumi ni mu ne data so eduonu nan ewo afi apem ohankron eduonum ensia ni mu ewo asen suta oko Holy Child School a ewo Cape Coast wo fe no English bar no so afi 1963 mu obeye district magistrate July 1966 mu wo paone se High Court Judge afi 1975 mu na ware Dr. Gustav Cranton Ado one ne wo miensa afi retired Major Samuel Akwa na oye Director of Personnel wo Ghana Industrial Holding Corporation GIHOC biaya na amatokwe eye adwuma no awo menum na kwabena Japan edi mfie donku wo bra wenim siye no se abema no na oti opapa living room a ultra letter ena oti kokoko na awo no ayehwe opapa.
They came with a story that Auntie Sisi was not well. They had taken her to Ridge Hospital, and the husband was not around, so he wants to see my dad, you know. So that was the story. And at first I wanted to go out and find out, but he just said, okay, can you go up and get me my sandals, native sandals, the ones that we use for funerals? I remember that. And at home he normally wears a white shorts and a white singlet. So he was wearing white. And so we went up and brought the slippers to him. So he took it, and then he went out to see them. I didn't follow them, so I don't know what happened. And I thought the the situation was serious. So perhaps he had accompanied them to the Ridge Hospital or something like that. So we just left it there, and then I continued to write. And then after that, I went home. I went to my bedroom.
wɔfa wɔn maako de wɔn kɔ Bundase military range kokum wɔn yaaya.
So we traced the long, tortuous journey for more than 2 hours from Ridge, where these judges were picked up, to Bundase, and specifically to the shooting range here at Bundase. This is where it is believed the 3 judges and the Army General were finally brought. Now, if you look at where I'm actually seeing now, the judges were lined up here and shot. We understand that they were killed instantly, then set on fire. The army officers and the perpetrators in this case left. These perpetrators left with the hope that the bodies could never be traced and they will never be found. Fortunately, heavens opened and it rained that night. The rains could not save the lives of these judges who had already been shot and killed, but at least it gave us our clearest trace or something left of the dead body for us to be able to bury.
Na kwabena dwene sɛ sɛ ɔpapa boa nadamfo ne wie a ɔbɛsane abɛfie ɛno nti saa anadwo no ɔdaeɛ na ɔsɔre anɔpa no ɛna ɔhunu sɛ ebia ɔpapa ne na wɔwɔ no ɛbɛkyɛ kakra.
We were not to notice that he didn't come home. I just went and slept. So it was only in the morning that we had a loud knock on the door. And it was coming from our next door neighbors, and that happened to be Justice Poku Sarkodie. So the wife came to come and inform my dad that last night the husband had been picked and that she saw them. I think she argued a bit, but they were able to take the husband away. But apparently it was after that that they came to our house. We're not next door neighbors. So I didn't even get it. I just got rushed up to my father's bedroom to go and tell him what has happened. I got to the bedroom, he wasn't there. So I went to my mother's room. I said, "Where's his daddy?" She said, "He should be asleep." So he's not there. Then I went downstairs, and the food remained the same way he left it. Not finished eating. Nobody had touched it. So we were confused. Then I also ran out of the house and went to Justice Eduse's house, which is just across. The judges used to stay around the Ridge area. So it was when I got to Justice Eduse's house that he confirmed that this was what he called Justice Apalu, who was then the Chief Justice at the time. So it was then that we realized that there was something serious happening and that some 3 judges had been picked the previous night.
Oh, okay.
This is in the morning. So that night I just went to bed, my mom went to bed, nobody knew that he didn't come back.
Kwabena e Japan de to menim sɛ ɔkɔhwɛ bɔɔlo bɔ akansie wɔ Accra Sports Stadium. Obetru fie no ɛna ɔte nea esie.
Despite the fact that our father was missing, that Sunday, as young as I was, I still managed to go to the stadium. So I think that Sunday was Hazelwood and Hazakis. Yeah, if my memory serves me right. So I went to the stadium again. When I was getting into the house, then I saw quite a number of people around. Then there were beckoning me to hurry up and get into a car and let's all leave the house. I didn't understand what was going on. That was when I think information had started filtering through that 3 bodies had been found, 4 bodies had been found at the Bondase military range. You know, so that night I left home. I went to sleep with a friend in Jolu. Strangely, around 5 a.m., you know, BBC confirmed it. You know, I think his mother switched in on BBC and confirmed it. So that's where I got the full picture.
30th of June, 1982. Na yeti Jowuru.
Lex Major Samuel akwayere ncheche mu a efa senya wodu ane kunu wo wonfie eni.
That day was a Wednesday.
Na mukun kwa adwuma.
My husband went to work.
Na obefe 7:45.
He came back 7:45 p.m.
Na oben no se sister Emete ni kunu ewu nso okho na waba.
What's about it?
Sister Emete ni kunu ewu nso okho ni China waba.
He said that Sister Omete has lost the husband, so he was going to pay them a visit and come.
Now about 9:45.
He came back in 9:45 p.m.
Now Ben na meka cha neba the uncle kan papa ne ziban shum farman.
I told my I told my daughter to go and prepare the evening meals for the father.
Uncle kan so.
If you hit it.
Now when I number to the obi lo gba abu nu.
There and then I heard a knock on the door. I went to look. I saw somebody who was putting on a smoke. I questioned him.
No, so sir, Major Wokum. No, some beefy. Namely, no coffee temna. Abe for the best than Akufi.
He told me, Miss Uchiamana.
Hello, sir, Major Wokum, not the
Oh, my Lord, he said he met my husband in town and he said he should come home. I then questioned him as to how he could go back during the curfew hour.
No, sir, or the broadcast car.
He said he came with a broadcasting vehicle.
No, Miss Another broadcast car, walk out from Chunwana.
I questioned him as to whether the broadcasting vehicles are not affected by the curfew.
No, so the paper said that on the Mukumo hand.
He said he was having a pass and he could go everywhere during that time.
No, Muku Asado.
I went to the hall.
I
went and called my husband that he's being wanted by someone.
No, Ben, no, sir, was a Bamba camp.
When he came, he was told that he was dead at Burma camp.
Nande chia eya anopa no ene wo hu no wo ne mu ana ese wo Bondase military range sentia se wudi sem ne ko so de na enhye da na adi kwame Japan da na di kire se ebia na asrafo ne nji opapa ne ye bi hu.
An uncle who was in the army, Bechi, he was also died subsequently, who used, I quite remember, came to the house to caution my dad a bit that, you know, people were feeling a bit uneasy about the fact that he was reviewing some of the cases. And I quite remember Bechi would come home in his military uniform. He was a relative of ours, my father's. And but never in our wildest estimation did we think that this could happen, would happen. But of course, I mean, it was difficult for everybody in those days. After Dr. Liman took over from the AFRC.
I, Ila Liman, having been elected to the high office of President of Ghana,
Chief of Defense Staff na oho sabre no Brigadier General Joseph Nunu Mensah ne kwabena e Japan ko benkrom kakra ochie mu se na ofa ajajefo a okum won ne retired officers no say revolution atamfo
between 79 when people were put in prison, some were killed, and 82 81 31 December 81 82 some of these people went to court, made appeal, and they were
Freed.
They were free.
Some were even asked to be paid reparations.
That's right. This angered, I'm not part of it, I wasn't part of it, but this angered those who came back. Some of them angered them. That's what they call them, enemies of the revolution.
Oh, okay.
I'm not justifying it. I'm not explaining to you why that term was used.
Oh, okay.
Because they thought that they were revolutionary justice.
They have reversed the
judgment.
Revolutionary justice.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I'm part of that belief, no. But that's what they understood it to be. What they call them enemies of the revolution.
Supposed to be 24 years of independence without the true economic power.
Adia wosusu se atemofo ne ye ne se wobu atembi wo AFRC mpenso a na omanfo twere aban kokon memetintin bi a wo share se wonyi won ne na Mrs. Kwanti Ado ni Major Akwa edi hu sawuso nie Major Samuel Akwa no ye Director of Personnel Tintim Krata wo de bepamu enyumayfo a wo Gihok bebi ana Joakim Amatekwe ye ejuma enyumayfo no de bedan koto ma Mrs. Kwanti Ado bo asem no guye asem no hye General Nunu Mensah yie esane se na Major Samuel Akwa ye ne nkwada bremu yonko.
That was the straw that broke my back. I said, no way would I belong to a government. In fact, much later, there were rumors as to who and who were involved. And when the rumors became, there was a little bit more light was thrown on the rumors, and became like, I have a feeling who and who were involved. The CDS now, my ADC was saying just next room, next house after this 1 year. He came in, said, what happened was, I actually went to Gonda Barracks to find out from President, then Chairman Rawlings, whether he had heard the news. He said yes. But if you look at it, he was so upset. I think he was almost in tears. He said, I've heard the news. And then I sent people, Air Force, so to go looking for them. It was when I came back, then the current CDS of Betavitis came to tell me that some bodies had been found.
Okay.
At the Bundasi range. So the bodies of these people had been abducted.
Openi another Professional Bodies Association no ano lawyer Sam Okudzeto die na okawona ogidi se na PNDC aban no tan atemu ejuma no na eno ene ma sa abonefo sem no ekoso.
In fact, as soon as the thing happened, we issued a statement to the press attacking the PNDC and said that, look, you, when you came into office, you've been preaching hatred in the country. You were preaching workers against the so-called professionals, poor against rich, or so-called. This was part of it. And the judges were administering justice. But some of them were aggrieved individuals, like Amatekwe, the bigger perpetrator of the whole crime, that he was working at Gihok. And there was a strike, they were dismissed. These matters came before the courts, and the judges gave judgment, and which was not in their favor.
In favor of Gihok?
No, in favor of Gihok.
Okay.
And so there he was, now they have power. And so let's get rid of the judges who were involved in the matter.
DSP Edmond Onyenisankwane member na Oka Police Investigative Team a wodinka ye asem nhwemu a odasutiase ochie mu se ifitiase no ano PNDC mpinifo bo pose obema atemuafu yedwuma yedin.
At the time when they established or the coup came into place, the aim of the ruling government was to discredit the judiciary. So they made claims that these judges, they were corrupt But one thing common is that they all reviewed AFRC convictions. And everybody knows that these convictions were not safe. People were tortured, and how can you try our generals and top brass within minutes and then say they are guilty, sentenced to death? This happens only in, I would say, backward systems.
Atiti beda nipa dodo na soma ede enhye beto asraban no so. July busumi no mu ne data so dunum ewo afe apem ohanko eduotwemi no mu no. PNDC Special Investigation Board SIBA obe nhwemu afasa ehudie no ho. KB Kwansen ana oyɛ director wo Bureau of National Investigations BNI ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ na ɔmanfo do na adwene sɛ asrafo no ntumi nhwɛ asɛm no mu yie.
There was a curfew in force, there were patrols in force, and to be able to breach the curfew you have to have a pass, and there were layers of passes. One pass doesn't take you everywhere, some pass will end you somewhere. So if judges were people who were abducted at different places, then the presumption in my mind when I heard of those that this might be something that is an inside job. If in the night you hear that people have been abducted, you don't know where they were, actually there might be some investigation, not at my level alone, but at the level of the Minister for the Interior.
Okay.
At the level of the normal government, there was investigation. Everybody was trying to find out what has happened. See? So there was investigation. But the problem we had, me and some other colleagues, is when you analyze and you are almost certain that no outsiders could have come to do it, then you have a problem.
Mr. Kwansin Danedi say, na den a ejuma ne be ama SIB no na enum sikra na head of internal security Johnny Hansen etwe ne ho say dwemtineni edema abadwuko no.
I remember that Mr. Johnny Hansen, the Secretary for the Interior,
Yeah.
he was my first boss. I had about 3 or 4 bosses.
I see.
He controlled the interior, police, immigration, prisons, fire service. So he was on paper in charge of internal security. So the first opportunity I got, I went to him to discuss. And he had gone to the government to go and discuss. And the initial indication was that there was going to be a committee headed by him.
The Interior Minister?
Yes. But there was a smart guy. He said no, they should get an independent body because of the circumstances. If he chaired the committee and the committee came out with any pronouncements that did not implicate the government, there was going to be reaction. So there should be an independent body. That is why the Special Investigation Board was constituted under Judge
Justice Azukrab.
Yeah.
Dwemtineni na oda abadwuko na no ene Justice Samuel Azukrab te muafo penia na owo ahomjemu police investigation team na obo abadwuko no chidom. Yedi DSP Onyenesa owo ahomjemu a wakubo ne ho adwa wo United Kingdom echi ekwaduedue mu fa senia wo hunu ewudifo a wokum atemuafo no.
I was on duty at the information room as a police officer in charge of all the detectives. Then they brought in a drunken policeman who had been picked up by the Minister for Highways. they were repairing the roads in the night. So he brought this drunken policeman to the headquarters. At that time, the IGP Kublenu was there, Kwashiga was there, a few other dignitaries, they were all there. Then I joined them, we were just talking. And then this minister, he intimated that this judge's affair, he went to the port of Tema and found some Fiat Campagnolas. And he felt he could ask for one of them, which he thinks could help him in his work. Okay, somewhere along the line, the news came out that, oh, some soldiers have come to take 2. There were 4. Some soldiers have come to seize 2 of the Fiat Campagnolas. Okay, so when I heard all that information, I was having the next step of action. I went straight to my Commissioner of Police, CID, of blessed memory. I said, sir, I want to go to Tema Port. I went there, and to cut a long story short, at the port, there is a book, vehicles living a log book. If you're taking any vehicle out of the port, you go to sign and print your name. So we have found out when the vehicles were imported, when they arrived. Okay. So it took us about 3 months. Then I found the name of America. It isn't by magic. You see, so when we got the name of America, because he signed for the vehicles, then we decided to pursue that line. We got to know his girlfriend, that they call themselves liaison officers in the broadcasting house. They could go to Rawlins's house. They could, you see, they had all the freedom to do whatever they like. So, in the process, we decided to question America. Okay, the first time we met him at the regional special branch headquarters, because those places we have got the gadgets, everything to record, whatever. We met America, and then my senior, my Idana, said, we are here to... He wouldn't let him finish. He said, no. How can I plan against my own man, Rawlins? No. You see, Chikata decided to arrest all the people closer to Rawlins, because Rawlins was went to, how do you call it, Libya. There was an abortive OAU conference. And because some of these boys, they never liked Kojo Chikata, and Rawlins had lied to them that Kojo Chikata was his personal friend. Chikata felt this was the time to get all these boys rounded up so that they can have their peace of mind for their agenda. So in the same way, America said no, because how do you call him? Udana said, no, we are not here because of Rawlins. We are here because of the judges who have been killed. So I also read it in the papers. Then I said, okay, if you will not talk, mind you, the others have talked to us. That's changed the whole atmosphere. Then he said we should go and come tomorrow. And you see, in the cells, there are a lot of people there who advise. So somebody told him that it is better for him to say his part of the story so that they don't pile everything on him. The following day when he went, he started talking like a parrot. Oh, yeah, I went to pick, the Amatekwe came and took me around to show me the places where the people live. And then there is something they call authority note. He gave me an authority note. That is what you can use to beat the curfew. So eventually, it was America who told us about the others. And we tried to, because they were all on the loose. They never knew anybody was tracing them. One was arrested around Penta, and I led the operation to arrest Jandu. No, it's Tekmo, who was arrested around Tesano area. And as for Tekmo, when he arrested him, he had a revolver in his socks. These were young lads. They were adventurous, but I wouldn't say they were.
Asofo ne fiti won adwuma se no ebede di se na impenifo aye adwene se obesi won kwan se nyenokwe no empue ema ewudifo no eto nadi ASP William Odura na obi na ya weni ohye no so se obetete ne fefo no obu ni ketem firi omayi mu wodi na sembu watan se wodi ne betum infiedu obra na oni omayi mu oba National Reconciliation Commission no enimu no ni odi to dwane.
I asked him, why are you arresting me? What have I done? You better tell me something, not this. He looked at my face and said, look, listen, we are the government. We could do anything we want. So I am not obliged to tell you whether you have done this or that.
I, Jacob Jabuni Yidana.
CSP Jacob Jabuni Yidana, no ye can defraud them police investigative team. What is she wants to say? One more SIB no, M1 a woody phone. What no? What no call public tribunal in him. Na kwedua, what the born in say, or the obia, or bo pose, or befasiba council, etu abino, esini fee, or brano on wakasampono, on none fee, na on Sansumpo nimpo say, obisa won fee. What no to mu in fear watching, was standing no to mu in fear naya, where ni nasem, boy in wa bra, what in 1992 constitution you know.
The commissioner CID at the time decided to constitute a team of detectives to find out those who did it and why. And we had an assistant commissioner of police who gradually faded out. So I remained the head of the investigation. So we're able to put pieces and pieces of information together and finally arrested the 4 people who perpetrated the crime: America, Senya, Tepo, and Jandu. And in the course of interrogation, they then mentioned Amatekwe. Then we brought in Amatekwe, who also mentioned Captain Kojo Chikate retired. And then just at that time, a board had been set to supervise our work. So all our reports went to the Special Investigations Board. And at the end of the investigations, the board made recommendations. But before the board finished its final report, I had been arrested.
Member Bakwa, na oka team no DSP Oyinisa Dutuye nim say, na wodwane agene nkwa, agene busua ho.
It was the day of our independence, celebration of our day of our independence. Then Mr. Idana has some friend called Afuase Wabek, who was a journalist. I was driving on St. Teresa's road in North Carnation. When she held my car, I stopped. And she told me, oh, they have arrested your friend. And I said, who arrested you? He said, the soldiers. And I asked her, where is she? He said, at Special Branch. So I drove straight to the Special Branch headquarters. And to my surprise, they said, no, they won't allow me to see him. They confirmed that he was there, but they won't let me see him. Okay. So I realized, it dawned on me, because previously they had seized Idana's passport. They also got hold of my passport, or under the pretext they were going to send you abroad and other things. But normally when you're going abroad, they don't seize your passport. So when I told Idana about my case, and he sat in his chair there, and tears were running down his cheeks, he realized that our lives are now in real danger.
Nhyehyɛmu no bɛtɔ odwa no abedwako no bɔ nipa edidu so yi subo sɛ wɔn na wɔdoro kum atemmuafo no ɛne retired army officer no wɔnom ne Joachim Amantekwe a na ɔka PNDC ho Lance Corporal Samuel Amedeka, Lance Corporal Samuel Michael Senya, Johnny Jandu, ex-soldier, Tony Tekpo, ex-soldier, Lance Corporal Gordon Cole, Lance Corporal Mama Insruwu, Lance Corporal Victor Gomelisio, Sergeant Aloga Akatapori, Anoka PNDC, Captain Retired Kojo Chikata, Anoye Security Advisor, Dima PNDC, Amanyeboni Beto Jano, George A. Kinsa, no oye aban lawyer Penny Dutudase, Adansia, Itia Emunuma, one of the Lance Corporal Cole, Lance Corporal Insruwu, Lance Corporal Gomelisio, Sergeant Aloga Akatapori, ne Captain Retired Kojo Chikata, Enimu Enti, Wamu Nkwedu. Jinaya, osi ye se, omu Nkwedu ni ye omanfo a, na wadwene se, kwayanka PNDC fo, di bayi won hu efri mu ne se, obeji abadwuko no adwenkyere atomu no. Adwentantano ye kese wo bra, eke sisa na adwene se, odi won a wobo won so bonu begina high court no enim no. Odi won ko public tribunal ni momenim. Abedjaku a no manfo ne Ghana Bar Association no titire. Ihye dem mu won. Ne nyina ne sene na won ma atensene ne enye adwumanti. Nanso George Adekuma no da public tribunal ya no twese. Na bibia ntwese suspect no benya asenie pa. Senke wode won court bia ni ma.
They had a fair trial because if they had been tried by colleagues of the judges, they would have been in a much more difficult situation. The judges' own colleagues and so on and so forth. So as for that, I don't think that, you see, some of these things are political opinions expressed by people here and there, and I don't have a problem with that. We tried so many cases, and that time, the cases we tried and the results that came, that reduced the tension and brought stability into the country.
Let me be clear in my mind on this matter too.
Yeah.
Why was there a need to form these tribunals? Weren't there courts in the country then?
There was a belief by the then the PNDC that justice system was not being administered the way that they felt that it should be administered. And so as part of the PNDC...
Was it about procedure? Was it
not
about
necessarily the procedures
or the people who were involved?
The kind of results, delays, and all those. I mean, it was a package of grievances they had against the court system.
And this was largely not from the people, but from the leadership of the PNDC.
No, because it was the PNDC didn't come to power through an election, so it couldn't have come from the people. It emanated from. It was the policy of the PNDC to set up tribunals.
Okay, now let me get this also clarified.
And let me, if I can explain to you, you know, there was a parallel, not only tribunals, they set up the Citizen Vetting Committee, they set up the National Investigations Committee, the One Man, One House Committee, all those parallel systems sort of parallel some of the existing state institutions. Yes.
19 June 1983 mono. Obra na wodi Amantekwe, Lance Corporal Amedeka, Lance Corporal Senya Jandu, ne Tekpo asem no. jailbreak bi kɔ so wɔ ne defie hɔ ɛna Lance Corporal America Jandu ɛne Tekpo ebu wɔn kɛtɛm. Lance Corporal America bɔ ne ho mmɔden atwa ne fi ɔman yi mu nanso Jandu ne Tekpo deɛ yɛsane doa wɔn. Ne nyina akyi no asɛnniɛ no kɔ so wɔ public tribunal hɔ. Amatekwe Lance Corporal America Lance Corporal Senya Jandu ne Tekpo deɛ wɔbu wɔn kumfo wɔde Lance Corporal America asɛm ebu an kumfo bra na oni hɔ. Tekpo deɛ wɔkum ne na kakra chi kran sana wɔbu an kumfo. Tekpo anu afiri mu no George Adekum Tribunal no ɛna bu anofo Angus Busumi ni mu. Ne data so dunum ɛwɔ afi apem ɔhankron ɛde ɔtwe miɛnsa no mu. Ɛna osi kyerɛmu a na gyina yɛsɛ yinse mfata sɛ wɔdi kan bu a Tekpo kumfo ɛna mienu a ɛdi enim no ɔbra na wɔgu so ɛdi n'asɛm. Wɔkyerɛmu a wɔetiatia ne fa ahodeɛ so a na ɔsɛ fata sɛ ɛdi n'asɛm no. Nanso George Adekum kyerɛmu a public tribunal fofo di n'asɛm. Kyerɛ no sane bua a Tekpo kumfo ne nyinaa ne sɛ 19 June jailbreak no na onimu bi na wenti kwa na ɛma wokum no ansa na wɔwi asɛnni a ɛtɔ so mienu no.
This was in the NRC report. It said by, I read it and I was very surprised Justice Abwasechi could make the comments. Look, when the jailbreak came, the June 19th jailbreak, they came out, Tekpo and I think another person, they took part in another coup. Okay? So, and I think they killed some people during the coup d'etat. So they were put on trial. There was the June 16th trial, the June 19th trial, and the judges made that trial, almost going on simultaneously. So Tekpo was standing 2 trials, if I'm right, June 19th and the merger of the judges. So when we broke to deliver our judgment, I think the Saturday preceding the day we gave the judgment, I heard on the radio that Tekpo, that his trial had ended and he had been sentenced to death. So Tekpo was shot before we passed sentence. And Justice Abwasechi was criticizing me in his report that if somebody had been shot, why should I sentence him to death again? But a court doesn't go by radio announcement. We are trying the person who was before the court. We have put the case for judgment. If the radio says he has been shot, why was any fact presented to the court that he had been shot? When a case is tried by a tribunal, like the judge's matter, when we finish, under the law, we have to take all the proceedings and everything and put a letter on it and submit it to the PNDC.
Okay.
So the PNDC will meet and decide whether they accept the court ruling or not before they confirm. The PNDC has to confirm the sentences. So it's not.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
So yours was merely like a suggestion?
Yes. No, you will make a suggestion. And it is for the PNDC. If you take this book on the judges, you will see the covering letter I wrote to the PNDC, submitting the record to the PNDC that this is the judgment we have found. And in some of the cases, the PNDC did not confirm the sentences. Apart from Tekpo, as I'm telling you, who had been executed already. But we passed the sentence and I have no regret about it.
Ono ankasa eka ne numasem 9th August 1983 muno. Odi to just say,
my full name is Evans Heckle Tekpo alias Tony. Mr. Chairman and members of the panel, I'd like you to know that I, Tony Heckle Tekpo, never knew these judges nor the retired major in my life. And I have never had any grudge with any of them. Therefore, I want you, the panel, Ghanaians, and the whole world to know that I, Tony, I am not a murderer. But there's a brain behind this. I knew very well that I was taking part in a national assignment, which was authorized by the PNDC. We were to arrest these judges and the major, which later turned out to be the mysterious end of their lives. Now I know that I've been used wrongly against these people. I therefore send my sympathy to the families and may their souls rest in peace. Now to the Attorney General, I would like to ask him if he really feels sympathy for his own colleagues who were murdered in cold blood? If yes, I'd like to know why he has managed to deny us our rights and justice. I'd like to remind him that there is no smoke without fire. Therefore, there's a brain behind the killing of these people. If the Attorney General tried to hide the facts behind this case, then I don't know what his end will be. Because I have been denied all my rights and justice, and I am therefore not prepared to open my defense in this tribunal. I rather prefer to sacrifice myself and die at the Tesi range on my truth. I once again call upon the 30th Operational Commander, Lance Corporal America, Mr. Amatekwe, Sergeant Anluga Akatapore, the chairman of the PNDC, who I know very well and I trusted before as J.J. Rawlings, Captain Kojo Chikata, Special Advisor to the Council, and by then members of the PNDC to come out and tell Ghanaians and the whole world the truth behind the killing of these 3 High Court judges and the retired major. I therefore emphasize on it once again that I would like to die at the Tesi range on my truth than to be a slave on someone's land.
And yena ediene no kreno. Senior National Reconciliation Commission trewo wana mani bonomuno. No kreno ne se ewudifo no na wonim se abonefo sama hokodie no na PND sita wonechi dendende.
As for the idea of who killed the judges, it's very simple. We were to investigate to find out who did actually kill the judges, and also to find out who orchestrated or who instructed these young soldiers. Well, I would say that they were loyal to the system and they knew that they were doing a national exercise.
They said they were carrying out instructions.
Yeah.
That was their defense, that they felt that they were carrying out state instructions.
So that really could not be stopped.
And the military legal department came in as to what he said. They were soldiers. So the question was, what is a legal command in the military?
Okay.
And whether if you are asked to carry out an illegal command, you have to carry it out. So they brought the military regulations, and then that time, I think the director of the legal directorate in the military came and testified and showed what are legal commands and illegal commands. Yes. So if now as we are sitting here, if Major Akwa was retired, he was actually a major, not a major general. But if you are asked to go and kill somebody, and you are a soldier, and you carry it out, and it's no war, it's an illegal command. It's an illegal command.
I see.
Your commander cannot tell you to go and shoot somebody. If they carry out a firing squad.
But do these lance corporals have what it takes to appreciate these things?
Look, these boys are boys companies, boys, you know.
Yeah.
They what they call junior leaders regiment. Junior leaders regiment. And if you study the history of coups in Ghana, until recently, all the coups emanated from those boys.
Anokwa, adansi bien we trese PNDC en shemu a wo si ginaye se obedoa no okum atemmuafo no ene retired army officer no. Commission no sani di sujwa se ginaye si bi sei no Rawlings tie futufo a na Captain Kojo Chikata ne smart Oxford trained lawyer Chachu Chikata eka ho bie. Na Chachu Chikata ye lawyer ni de ma Captain Kojo Chikata Obra oko SIB no ni public tribunal no enim ni mpo bra oko court demand no NRC review brenu mu wanya ntumu se na oka ho bi anase mpo otufu boni bia.
This is an outrageous claim. It's completely outrageous because I certainly, and I know that from the bottom of my heart, I have absolutely nothing to do with the murder of the judges. I know that in respect of my dealings with both President Rawlings and Captain Chikata, this was never something that came up for us to be accused of in some sort of conspiracy to have dealt with. You know, the day that I heard that judges have been abducted, I was actually in court in Ho. I had left Accra in the morning, not having heard anything. There was a case I was doing for some farmers in the Volta region in Ho, and I had driven to Ho, not having heard about the murder of the judges. As I'm entering the town, I don't actually know Ho. I didn't know Ho well, and I didn't know where the courts were. So I was looking out for somebody who could help me, and fortunately, I saw a lawyer as he was then, now Justice Jones Doche. I saw him, and then I stopped the car, and I was just going to ask him for directions to the court. He was a student of mine as well in Legon, and so I knew him well. And then he asked me about this news about abduction of judges. I was completely dumbfounded. And so all I had to end up saying to him was, well, when I get back to Accra, I'll have to hear about this. I knew nothing about it. And I mean, so that's why I'm saying that I have a sense of outrage about these kinds of allegations, because the facts are very clear and they're well known. I'm sure Justice Jones Doche would not mind my making this public.
Ina kakremu ansana wobekum Amatekwe no wayan pipe man wo in Sewen prisons. Squadron leader George Tego de tudwa say inhemu no rekoso no kwed na no disem tudwa fa de dwuma odi wo saa ewudue ni mu enkrankasemu no kwed wei ene tudwa
mi fi isha civilian Jimmy
mayem from so me Ghana ni de hye mapa Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Lawrence ene Kojo Tikata ene me ene etenase a ye hyehyɛ saa kwan be fa so a ye be kira judge
Kojo Loy ni teshi ewo revolution le Captain Kojo Tikata
ana mo ane di revolution no tu no na wo mo empene so onipa no tai san hyehyɛ chipa ene Captain Kojo Chikata and I'm waiting Kojo Tikata any Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings if I may say member Provisional National Defense Council PNDC abino nenam santi ne wono kire me se menye biara no medi so eye Ukraine my yade a enye ditum se my yam from so
mi fe isha mi fatahi ameke ake mi kwe nuchumo leno sigbeke biye
omo hye me say ni wono mo ye eye operation ni na no me na no sia ne say mrantia wono won di djuma no eye nkrofo bi a wono mmuade na wo pre won ho omo hye me say me hwe se ade a ya hyehye se ebeye no ebekoso pepepe a ohaw biara na esi akwan de biara embele megusu kase mayem from so free say me na me fa army officer na oka ho na Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings ni Kojo Tikata nso eyi ajaji form ensa no e de omo bai mayem from so me koso kase mayem from so Captain Kojo Tikata eno hyehyɛ kwan be fa so e be di dwuma nyina efri say ono ena no ye National Security Advisor enti bambo hu sem biara na ekoso sabre no ono ena na hye ne nsa mayem from so unyame fa me bone cheme nanka ensese me ye ne me ye no ne hye me se me ye no na emfa kwan mu nanso me gina so eye obra me nim se eya
me fe isha Yehowa mayempa mo fai
enti me
esa ni ma fe na kan
mayeboni
no ni akeme ya fele shi me fe isha mi npa fai me fe isha ni wo gbeje me na ni wola
NLC fo away so na wo kire mu se tumi di bi entai kira anka Amatekwe entumi ini egusa amedeka ne ya oda ne die wo inidefie ho esisudua se na onim se wɔn a no wokura tumi na wɔhyɛ ma ewudie no kɔɔ so.
Stop there! Stop right there! Stop there!
Ɛnyɛ wɔn sɛ wɔma wɔn hyɛn a wɔde kɔɔto pɔn mu atemmuafo mmiɛnsa no to mu a wɔde kilometers 20 ti wɔn firi wɔn fie wɔ Ridge kɔɔ Bundasi a ɛbɛn Efinya. Wie Kani head of security Captain Chikata gye to mu sɛ mmerante kwa yi a ɔkɔdo atemmuafo no na tumi bi taa wɔn akyi nanso wɔntumi ankyerɛ nea ɔhyɛ wɔn.
The operational pass is issued from the Operations Department of PNDC headquarters, and it is normally issued by the operations officer or his deputy, or the officer who will be on duty if there is an emergency. Those are the only people who can issue the operational pass.
Officer, you are referring to army officers, I suppose?
Oh, yeah, military officers.
Oh, I see.
The police also have their own system of issuing operational passes, and I believe that it will follow on the same lines.
Yeah. I have in mind, this question relates to the vehicles that the convicted prisoners used in carrying the people that they murdered. And it came to our attention that their movement was during the curfew hours and that they had access to operational pass. So I'm wondering who might have issued this operational pass to the convicted prisoners for them to carry out this act.
The operational pass would have been issued by the officer, the operations officer in PNDC HQ.
I see. Is it possible for us to identify a particular officer?
If you
so
see,
that we can question.
If you see the pass, you will see his signature on it. The officer must sign the pass.
In Sama, esisi ya na efi NLC DB ka ho se, ihyiemu bi a woye no Harisu wo Gonda Barracks, ana Captain Chikata, ne Chachu Chikata ho no. Rollins mama wode amatoko ebae. Kani aban lawyer peni, George Akins chemu a, was mama amatoko ebae. Obae no a, wode tu nanim se, onkofo won a, wafo no mum nimra no. Obua se, wonum ewiwi won. Kyerɛ se, wokum won. Commission no pai mu kan wi. Aso na Flight Lieutenant Rollins enim ewudie no hwea. Den a draw won de. Ebra abedeko no bisa Flight Lieutenant Rollins. Fa Justice Akins anudisema epu e Gonda Barracks ihye mu no. Ode kodai ne futufo Chachu Chikata se onhwehwanye no. Anu ye a otwede ma commission no nie.
What is being described by Justice G.E.K. Akins as containing your letter seems natural enough to me as what may have happened. I would, however, suggest you cross-check with Mr. Chachu Chikata for confirmation. What I find rather puzzling is the mention of the name of the late Amate Kwe by me, seemingly out of the blue. I would suggest that another invitation is extended to Mr. Akins and any other persons who may have been around then, whether or not the late Amate Kwe's name did not emerge as part of the rumors making the rounds.
NLC to also say, abonefo sam no course wie ya, ebeto odwa no. Flight Lieutenant Rollins ne Captain Chikata Fakonia say nyina so say, obetwe won ho efre wudie no ho. Se member oka SIB investigation team no ho no. William Odro de to NLC no anim say, Captain Chikata mu nehu ano. Esane say, na Rollins ebo no modern say, obema Amate Kwe apemu aka asema, ebepapa wondin efri asem no mu.
Because of the investigation into the abduction and murder of the judges and the army officer, Kwadwo Chikata, Rollins, and the so-called PNDC government had arrested me. I said, well, if you had arrested me and I have been pressing for the cause of my arrest and you could not tell me, then I must tell you that you are doing this on account of my participation in the investigation of the abduction and murder of the judges and the army officer. He said, oh, You forget about that. We have killed them, and so what? What are you people saying? All that you people are doing will not go anywhere. I said it will go anywhere. Then he came in again. I challenged him on that. And then he came in again and said, well, even you are a spy for a foreign power. I said, my God, I had never spied in my life.
Commander Asase Jima, no ye security coordinator, na Oshe Captain Chikata se ujumayeni no. Eni osusu se, omanu kodi saa abonefosam yi. Wasuma oni Reverend Father Damwa na oye Catholic priest. No osanika PNDC ho. Mawoko Oshaford prisons. Biaya na amantekwe wo ansana. Wode ne kwa biaya okukum no no. Captain Kojo Chikata pray se obepe anu December efri amantekwe ho no. Eye juma pepepe na auditu NLC nu enim se Commander Asase Jima any Reverend Father no catch any say amatukwe epa ne cho.
Since the SIB report the trial of those who were convicted for the murder, in spite of the fact that I appeared before the SIB and denied all the allegations which have been leveled against me, that I was a prosecution witness during the trial, and that the AG did not prosecute me for the reasons that he had given. People still continue to level allegations against me as a conspirator in the crime to murder the judges and Major Alco.
Nanso ebra obisa ni bebia sa tape recorder no wono. Commander Asase Jima de tudwa say tape recorder Rollins the man say ofa recording bebia amateko ebeka no anya adwuma.
I told the committee that the person who gave me the recorder, it was those days, it was one of these.
That's Flight Lieutenant George Rollins.
Well, I don't remember, but let me tell the story.
Okay.
Yes, the person who gave me the recorder. The recorder was very innovative, and by that time it was voice activated. Yeah, and it was new. And by the time you finished with the proceedings, and I checked, it had not recorded. It had not recorded. Yeah, but thank God. Amatekwe was talked to when he was tied to the sticks, and he said the same thing that he told me.
And that recording was done by former President Rollins.
Do
you think we got to the bottom of the matter?
Oh, sure. People were found, charged, convicted, sentenced, and executed.
The SIB indicted Captain Chikata. He was never tried.
Oh, that matter has been settled, And Amatekwe told me personally that he didn't regret killing the judges, which I found very, very irritating. Oh. But the fact that he mentioned Captain Chikata's name, that one he regretted.
NLC no anye Captain Chikata ni Commander Asase Jima anu diseme yantum. Na wodi tudwa se ebia na amatekwe ankasa kra ana se okabibia na Rollins bonyo so abejoko no sansi sudia se ote se Commander Asase Jima butai no anye adwuma no. Flight Lieutenant Rollins fa tape recorder bi call police firing squad ewo ofankwa ewo Accra biaya na ewudie no ekoso no. Odwentwe adwumedie no so enante ko amatekwe nchen ye bia se obekasa. Flight Lieutenant Rollins botepa echwe osusu se amatekwe editudwa echre wona no echre no ebetudwa se Flight Lieutenant Rollins botep no chwe sentrefo bia na kojo yanka na oye simufo dema daily graphic wo bie na odinti mo ne de robokrata ne mu se amatekwe Captain Chikata din ifri asemu. Otintim nyana wosusu say amate kwa editu dwa no. Opamo daily graphics semufui efri n'adwuma mu. Sa obeboa ama commission no ehunu asem nim no kwenti. Watonsa friend Flight Lieutenant Rollins say onfa tape nimra. Imwaya oditu dwa ne say ohunu.
The commission has evidence before it given by Naval Commander Asasijima.
Yes.
And he states in his testimony before the commission,
Yes.
that you have in your custody an audio recording made by yourself
Yes.
on the day of the execution of Mr. Joachim Amate Kwe.
Yes.
And that you recorded this just before the execution sometime in 1983.
Yes.
Your Excellency, is that correct?
That's good. Amate Kwe did what I thought was most ignoble. I'd known Amate Kwe as a very disciplined person, as a person who was not a liar, not a thief, a man who commanded a lot of respect, a very dedicated person. And for him to have been engaged in the misuse of soldiers, to do what he did when we came into office.
Sir, with respect, if I could draw you back.
Don't. I'm building it up.
You are building up?
Yes.
Okay.
For him to have been engaged in the misuse of good soldiers for what happened, and worst of all, to use the name of an innocent person, was most painful, not just for me, but for him as well, in terms of my image and impression of him. And for me, I thought it was an opportunity to give Kwe an opportunity to give Kwe the chance to cleanse Amate Kwe, to cleanse, yes, his soul, his spirit before he meets his creator.
Okay.
Not only that, but I'm not going to have a situation where an innocent man is going to live under the cloud that he mentioned yesterday for 20 years. Okay. My wife, keys, etc., all these, atrocious fabrications. And for me, in fact, I could not even recollect that I had asked Commander Asasijima till I heard about it yesterday. I mean, there are lots of things I cannot recollect, but I can very well imagine that I must have done so when he said he was going with Reverend Damois. Okay. Yes. And
so
wait a minute, when it didn't work out, that's when I decided, no, I'm not going to let this opportunity slip. So I must have obviously gotten a tape myself and followed the convoy from wherever to the point before he was executed. And I approached him as he was tied to the stakes, and I came close to Amate Kwe. Don't let this opportunity slip to cleanse. I mean, we're not perfect. You've, you've personalized an issue, something that you should have risen above in terms of, trying to take the lives of people. We had political objectives. And it's hurt. It's hurting all of us. It's hurt you. It's hurt all of us. But please, I mean, before you meet your creator, let me have that ultimate truth. Let me have that beautiful truth. Restore some of my respect before you go. And I was so glad when he vindicated Captain Chikata.
And you recall what his words were, in essence at least?
Yeah, I mean, he pronounced the innocence of Captain Chikata and asked for his forgiveness, etc., And to be quite frank, to be quite honest, I think either a day or so after, or probably a day or so after, I must have invited some of the journalists and played the tape to them. And I believe, what's his name? Mr. Kojo Yanka, who was the editor. Is that his name? Kojo Yanka? He was the editor of the Graphic then. Is that his name?
Say, I don't quite recall, but
oh, come on, you should know.
We can quickly check out.
Yes. Thank you very much.
We know that.
Thank you. He was the editor of the Graphic then.
he gave very wide publicity to it. Quite frankly, that was not my intention then when I was playing it to them. I was hoping we'd find an appropriate occasion when to put this case across. You know, so unfortunately he went ahead, everybody listened to it, he went ahead and published, you know, what the tape recording had to say. And I remember the following day or so, you know, I called him and I reproached him. I said, look, I mean, I didn't think you'd do this, because that was not the moment. Because sometimes if truths are not told in the appropriate context or the appropriate platform and at the appropriate time, people put question marks and doubts on it.
And now Sinidu to just say evidence or dancing bia na our execution site or tape no be say Amatekwe anka bibia say Captain Chikata inim ewudie no bi ne odansini no tie ne say Amatekwe du to wo tape no so say owoyo ne ba ese say wo hwe won na osran say wo mo won estate house imuaba wo de to dwane say ni obo train sentwefo no ebia na enya frinchim National Reconciliation Commission ye mpense mu a emu do wie no imuaba wo de to dwane.
The SIB found Captain Chikata to be a co-conspirator in the abduction and cold-blooded murder of the judges and the retired army officer. But like Amatekwe, Captain Chikata could not by himself have carried out the deed because he was not even a member of the PNDC. It needed the authority of someone higher up, and that person was Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, who, according to evidence before the commission, had months before he succeeded in overthrowing the Liman administration, threatened to punish the judges who had freed so-called AFRC convicts. Without his express orders or tacit approval, the operational pass would not have been issued to Amedeka and his gang, insisting it was the public reaction to the abduction that led the cabal to beat a retreat and try to undo what had already been done. The search for a scapegoat began, and the misguided Amatekwe was found to fill the role. Like a man who rode on the back of a tiger, he did not know how to get off and ended up in its mouth.
Imuaba Captain Chikata anyantum wabra okope commission no enimno.
In the evidence of the ICIB, they all stated that they were doing what they did under the instructions of Amatekwe. That is what all of them said in the evidence before the ICIB and before the tribunal. Amatekwe was a member of the PNDC, yes. That is what they all said.
Did he hold any special position?
He was a member of the PNDC in charge of TUC affairs.
So does it mean any member of PNDC can get hold of any of the soldiers and give them orders to do anything?
That is what they did. I'm not saying that that is legal. That is what they said they did.
Osaniti mu bio say Amatekwe ne no atofo ne kum atemuafo no. No no de enu anu onim.
My dear General, that is why Amatekwe was prosecuted and executed. It was not right for him to have done what he did. It was not a matter of system. Amatekwe was responsible for the crime he committed with America and the others.
Osane de tuabejoko no enim say esane suboyinti ofa ya odi mu pa.
For the past 20 years, I have been living under the pain of having these allegations made against me year in, year out, until today. And I have done my best this morning to demonstrate to this commission why I believe that the ICIB, after they issued their initial report on the 6th of November, began a political conspiracy against me. I can't precisely say why, but I believe because of the actions that they took and the circumstances of the time, that they were determined to have me removed from my position in the government, to discredit me and thereby discredit the government and prepare for the overthrow of the government. I have named the people who I believe took part in this conspiracy. Members of the board, Justice Azukrab, Mr. Lindsay, Reverend Dovlo, Jobo, Reverend Jobo, Mr. Quiz is now dead, and Mr. Amui. Those who helped them were, of course, some members of the police group attached to them, Idana and Odro, who took that famous statement, which the ISIB refers to as the historic statement of 23rd November 1982. And of course, Brigadier Nunu Mensah. For the reasons that I have given you regarding the circumstances under which he knew beforehand what Amartey Quaye was going to say in his statement of 23rd November. Mr. Chairman, I said that for 20 years I've been living under the pain of this monstrous allegation that I participated in this crime. I'm just pleading to you, members of this commission, to make available here the persons that I have named so that I can look them in the eye and ask them certain questions about how they came to engage themselves in such an elaborate frame-up which nearly cost my life. After all, this commission has given its platform to an international con man, Mr. Chris Asher, who came here, raved and ranted for 2 hours, making all sorts of allegations against me, and I'm just pleading to give some opportunity for me also to question these people. After all, former Chief Justice of Ghana, a priest, Jobo, former head of CID, to ask them why they took part in such a conspiracy to frame me up.
George Ajakuma, na oka public tribunal no kaakai nia etwemu no na obonu mu ase ntawantawa efa atemwafo no ewudie no ho. Ni nyina afa dwuma ozuzu se Captain Kojo Chikata diye a oche se ono na ota echira omawodoa kum atemwafo no. Ochire sentia Attorney General na o sabre no GEK Akins amo Captain Chikata kwedu no.
What the Justice Akins did, because this whole recurring thing is more of Captain Chikata.
Yeah.
And what Justice Akins did was to tender him in the court to give Amartey Quaye the opportunity to confront him. And if he had done so and something else had developed during the cross-examination, that would have been a different thing.
I believe that the then Attorney General was really going to be able to deal with more like an advisor to the chairman of the PNDC.
So I think that at that time he did what he did to the best of his ability.
I get that, but was it politically possible at that time?
Oh, but he brought Amartey Quaye.
Very much so. I mean, Amartey Quaye was not a bigger fish like Captain Chikata.
No. Amartey Quaye was a very influential member of the PNDC.
I get you. Not to the stature of Captain Chikata, you would agree.
Well, to some extent, but they were all PNDC members. And for example, Amedeka, I can tell you that Amedeka was much more powerful, maybe than Kojo Chikata at that time, because of the role that Amedeka was playing.
Mfie eduasa nsie chi a hukum atemwafo yi ni mfie dumienu achi a Reconciliation Commission ne prese no kure no bedede no na asem no akogo no. Insembisa edaso omanfo adwemu ne se aso ewudie hu no kure adedi ana. Ne edi kan kwabena eje ejapon a na opapaka atemwafo a wokum won no kire se no kure no ana edida.
Everybody knows, those who were there knows what happened. And as I said, we all recognize the fact that the full truth was never told. In fact, America, nobody knows what has happened to America. He escaped jail. He was the leader of the gang that carried out the executions. And there were many times he sneaked back into the country and out, but nobody knows what has happened to him.
General Nunumesa, now Oye Chief of Defense Staff, and Sujitumu.
This is a serious matter, not a military matter. This is a government. And members of the government were led to have been involved. It's even more serious.
Which members can come?
There were allegations of, I mentioned Ahmed Tekwee. I was a member of the government.
Yeah.
There was Akatapori, how do you know Akatapori?
Yes, Akatapori.
There were allegations like that, even though he wasn't involved. And there are many others were being thrown around.
Were there allegations that Captain Chikata was part of it?
There were all kinds of allegations. All kinds of allegations. And I don't think that in all these matters, you get to the bottom.
Kaneba Association President Imprempre Oka Council of State Sam Okujeton Sojune say in Semibre Batabaseni hu Esninia Abetujano.
They created the atmosphere that enabled Amatekwe, who was a member of the PNDC, to use that position on a curfew period to go and abduct judges, to go and kill. And so the PNDC themselves just as us guilty because they created the atmosphere.
Just to hold our opinions.
I have always heard it, and I said that was a brutal regime. This is why I compiled this list of all these people who were killed. And I can tell you that nobody was prosecuted for killing all these people. Up to today, nobody has been prosecuted.
Most Reverend Pamabakla, na Oka Commission, O2 Adishefo, Gitum say, Abejokono entumi ehunu atemwafo yi ewudie hu pomesibre.
When America sat on the case of the murder of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, Lee Harvey Oswald was the one who was accused. Before Lee Harvey Oswald could bring out the whole matter, he was also killed by somebody else. And that person was also killed by another body else. Can we ever get the truth of who killed John Fitzgerald Kennedy? It's not the one who triggered the bullet, the one who mandated his killing, the one who sent for him, the one who plotted. Can we ever get the full truth? I am looking at something that we also came face to face with, even when we're dealing with the issue of the judges and the general who was involved. There have been too many subsequent killings, and people have gone with the story.
Owarishemu say atemwafo ne ami major no ebusuafo akomabeto woyema agese law court bi ede wonano atumu.
If anybody expected that commission to come out with a judicial verdict, then the person was not conversant with the Act 611, which established the commission. The commission was established to afford Ghanaians an opportunity of reconciliation, not of judgment. However, when we finished our work, we handed over all the documents to the Attorney General's department with the proviso that if anybody felt that he or she had not gotten justice, he or she had the right to go to the law courts for it. Ours was not a law court.
George Adekuma, Obua Amate, Nindipa Naya, Akano Penese, Obi Biawa Dansidino, Enko Kotu.
If today there's fresh evidence against any of the persons, the person can be put on trial. If you take somebody to court, there must be evidence.
So, for example, the suggestion from G.E.K. Akins.
He said if in future, if there's fresh evidence, that person can be put on trial. So if somebody thinks, and that is the Attorney General thinks that he has got fresh evidence which can merit a conviction, then he should bring the person to trial.
1981 coup beneficiary Osania lawyer ni Captain retired in Krabia Ifadate. Ana on the PNDC ye ejuma ejide say Captain Chikata betimi eyin hu efra asem mu a agesi ye digina emra enim. Emma emra no esani niti.
It would have been better if Captain Kojo Chikata had been prosecuted and set free by the tribunal. If the tribunal had acquitted and discharged him, it would have been far, far better for him. Because now he lives with this conscience, this issue of some people are saying that he ought to have been prosecuted. Some people are saying that he was the mastermind. And some people are saying that the white paper was not appropriate. And, but I think if I were to have been his lawyer in those days and given the influence that I may have wielded as his lawyer, I would have recommended that, look, Master, submit yourself, go through the mill, let you be prosecuted, and then be acquitted and discharged. Then you come back with a clean conscience and for posterity.
Now, so Chachikata, far way say in tra or passe, what do the Bushanino animasi?
The reality of the matter is that if you look at the facts and circumstances around that whole situation, there's no basis for someone like Captain Chikata even to be brought into the picture. Captain Chikata really did not even have as close a relationship with Amartey Quaye as I had. I had been the lawyer for them. And, as a young member of the PNDC, he would often, interact with me, not with Captain Chikata. So that whole attempt to rope him in, was completely without basis. And I think the people who did it, they know the facts. The murder of the judges is something that I felt very deeply and passionately myself. I mean, these were judges that I knew personally. These were judges that I knew in very, very closely. I mean, and so I don't take lightly the kind of accusation that was being made. I don't take that lightly at all. And I was outraged at the way in which it was orchestrated. And I was outraged at the people who participated in that outrage and the fact that they lent themselves to be part of something that was so untruthful, so unfair, so unjust.
Ekamia say, Ade di pefe kakra wonia okum atemwafo no, ene retired army officer no, ene sentia okum no. Nanso enya kra, mfie eduasa nsi echi no. Nia nhwemu yi nsiesie ene say, when bio ene say, onya ho asotwe a, odane na mene ya, otu abasakomu. Mano ato.
Yabukansi apemo so hwadom kase wa Adom TV so eduada nyumre ko se fiade nyumre bia no nsia ne fa ekopem no so ene fa Adom kase ye de mo bia ehwe Adom TV ye wazoye.
Hello everyone, welcome to my world. My name is Emilia Bobe. Koswa se Saturday enyumre bia 6 p.m. pepepe ubeshia me wa Adom TV so me di okuku seku de talk show na ebremo show you so and then sema yekochi ekobata fenipa ho ye de bremo ne de bi achichi yere abrofo asa yasne me ye de juma de
I belong to the stock of Abraham. I belong to the stock of Daniel, the stock of Esther. I belong to the stock of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. I have a different DNA. That is the DNA of Jesus Christ. Death cannot kill us. Sickness cannot kill us. We belong to the higher class of the Most High God. I know who I am.
Walked upon the sea, raised at death. Reign in majesty, Everything written about you is great. You are great, yes, you are holy one. Walked upon the sea, wasted death. You reign in majesty, mighty God. Everything written about you is great. You are 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 great. Oh yeah. You are great. Say you are great. You are great. Say you are great. You are great. Everything, yeah. Everything written about you is great. You are great.
Adafo, ene enyumrei so yeba ofie from Jesus Power Studios. Apostle Joshua na usu ana meno ehye. Bosomi aye bosome stronko a yebedi dwuma ewo